Right, how to scale off of drawings. I'm going to show you two different methods. One is the traditional method, and the next one is like the more modern way of doing it using your phone. But the first one is basically using a paper drawing. So the first thing you're going to do is obviously get your drawing, which is going to look like this, or it might be a finishing drawing, externals drawing. And then you want to look the bottom right hand side of that drawing. So that's where all of the drawing information is. You're going to have a key like at the top of the drawing, but at the bottom of the right, the important bit that you need to know is the scale. So there it says scale at A0. What that means is the scale of the whole drawing on paper size A0. So you know, like you get an A4 bit of paper. Scale at A0, which is 4 times the size of A4, is 1 to 250, which means for every 1 millimeter is 250 millimeter. So you're gonna also need for this a scale rule, which looks like this. So a scale rule is just like a normal ruler. The only difference being is it's got lots of different scale sizes on it. There's three different sides, and there's different scales on each side. So for that drawing we just looked at, the scale was 1 to 250. So you see up here, it says 1 to 250. That's the side of the ruler you're going to need. Now, one thing you need to be really careful of is that you can't just print this onto any bit of paper and then scale it, because you need to be careful that the drawing hasn't been like zoomed in or zoomed out, because then it won't work and you can get yourself into trouble. Now, there is a way around that, which I'm going to show you in a second to make sure this doesn't happen to you. But for now, once you've got your scale ruler and you've established what your scale is, you literally put your ruler, this is your ruler here, over the top of the bit you want to measure. So I've done it for the path here. The scale is a bit strange, but this is just so I can show you what you have to do. You literally put the part of the ruler, which is a scale that matches, over the bit you want to measure. Count how many lines. And for example, if it's four lines wide, you do 4 times 250, and it would be a meter, 1,000 millimeters. That is it. It's super simple. Now, like I said, you've got to be careful not to zoom in and out, otherwise this won't work. For example, if someone prints it on a bit of A4 bit of paper and the printer's like blown the drawing up, obviously that bit would be bigger and the scales would be different, be like distorted. A way to check if that's happened or not is if you know the measurements of certain things on site. So let's say, for example, you've been doing pathways and you know that all these pathways are 900. Put your scale ruler over the drawing you've got, and if it measures 900, you know you're right. If it doesn't, you know that the drawing you've got is been blown up or been like minimized. Right, so now I'm going to show you the next option. So this option is super easy, and it's what I use now. I've used this for years. So you basically want to download this onto your phone. It's called AutoCAD. You can also get it on your computer. You can use it to model stuff. This is what the architects and everyone uses pretty much to make the drawings. So you need to download that, and then you're obviously going to need the digital versions of the drawings, and you can get these, just go to the site office. Now what's important is you're going to need the DWG files, and all that means is they're the files that are to the format of AutoCAD. In the same way like a .doc is for like Microsoft Word, DWGs are for AutoCAD. Once you've got them, you're going to open up the app and you are going to import your DWG file. So you're going to go into the office and say, I need the externals drawing and I need it as a DWG format. Okay, they're going to have it 9 times out of 10. So you're going to get that, import it, and then this is like almost in the PDF format. You're going to click this little eye here. This is how I always do it. Click the little eye here, and then you're going to select model, and that is going to show you the actual the model design of that drawing. So this is how it would have been when they actually made this drawing. Okay, now at the bottom, I'll get out of the way, you can see it says distance, area, angle, radius. So you can measure any distance on here. You can measure the whole area. So say you wanted to measure a floor. You can measure radiuses. So let's say you wanted to know what radius of curves were on the drawing. You can measure that on here. You can measure the perimeter. You can pretty much measure anything. Okay, it's honestly, it's super easy. and I've just zoomed in here, all you do is you literally just use your finger, tap on the part of the wall. You can also choose like snap in and lock in on and off. Tap on the bit of wall that you want to measure from, and then just pull the line to wherever you want. I've just pulled it here just to give an example. Tap again, and it tells you the measurement just there in mil, and that's it. It is so simple, and if you can do that and get the drawings, you will be super independent. So that's 2 ways to read drawings. That's it.